Hello YouTube friends, Dr. Teresa here again. I am following up on my most recent research for treating nematodes, and I have found out where I have gone wrong in my treatment and why I continue to lose dwarf seahorses. So you can see I have some supplies here to start the treatment again. Mistake number one. I was using a laboratory grade dropper for measuring the formalin when I needed something that used bigger drops that was intended for specified measurements. And you can see the difference in the holes there and why the dosage was quite a bit different. I am going to be looking at my usual favorite treatment options. I have some fresh, clean salt water here. I have some Hypo saline water at about 1.009 or 1.010 for a rinse after the formalin treatment I'm going to complete again. And then over here, of course, I have my airline tubing, my air stone, and my pump that I'm going to be using because formalin does need to be aerated during a dip treatment. So I've moved the 60-ish seahorses into my little 2-gallon tank, 1 gallon of water. I'm adding the formalin dip dose using a measurement type of dropper to have more accurate measurement. And here is the seahorses responding. They're doing well. I did learn something else, mistake number 2. I learned that formalin does have a shelf life, and it is recommended that you replace it after 2 years because it loses its potency. I'm going to be honest, I don't remember when I purchased my formalin, so it's probably more than 2 years, and I'm going to be ordering a replacement. But I am going to use what I have so far. Even if it is old, it will still help reduce some of the nematodes on the dwarf seahorses. I do plan to retreat them after my new formalin arrives, and it will also help me kill off any eggs that may have hatched in the process. So I will be performing this process again in about another week just to make sure everything is really gone. Mistake number 3. I should have been using Fenbendazole and Paragard in the tank at the same time right after I do a formalin treatment so that I can close that reproduction cycle. So even though I'm getting the worms off of the seahorses with formalin, I still need to treat the tank because I have a heavy infestation of nematodes, and that is done with the fenbendazole. So I was on the right track, but I just had the timing wrong. So while the seahorses are undergoing the formalin dip, I make sure I have no resins in the filter, and then I get the Paragard and the fenbendazole, and I start adding them to the tank per manufacturer recommendations for 10 gallons. And so this is going to remain in the tank for the regular treatment and dosage. I'm leaving the filter running so that any nematodes that are in there will also be eradicated. And here we are checking in on the seahorses again while they're in the formalin dip, the dip dosage. This is an overhead view, and they're holding up very well. Colors are looking good. They're breathing okay. They're fairly calm. And it's getting to be towards the end of their treatment, and this time I am doing a total of 50 minutes, 50, because I'm going to do a short hyposaline bath. Look at the bottom. There is a lot of leftover debris, and I'm wondering if some of that is nematodes coming off the seahorses. Here they are now in the hyposaline solution, which is about 1.010 salinity. And after 10 minutes in there, I return them to the tank, and we can see once again they have that hypnotic look, a little bit of trauma. A little while later, they start perking up and become more active. See them here later on, they're eating. And just being active and more colorful. So now it's been a day after the treatment. So far I haven't lost any of the seahorses. They look good, they're eating good. I've learned to use the correct dropper measurement for the drop dosage. I've learned that I need more recent formalin that is not old or expired. And I need to treat the tank at the same time I'm doing a formalin dip. So I get the nematodes in the tank as well as those in the deep tissues of the seahorses that are attacked with the formalin. So I've learned a lot. I will be doing the treatment again, as I mentioned, in a week when my new formalin arrives, so that any eggs that might be hatching in these next few days will also be killed off. And hopefully this will be eradicated. Thanks so much for following along. I'll do an update soon on how they're doing from this treatment. Thanks for watching, and take care.